Hi everybody, and welcome to the program. This is the new cat, and for those people that are not interested in my cats, that's fine. I'm sure she'll be going about her way in a moment. At the moment, she's got officially the name Little Cat. She was a stray that we found on the wall about 3 weeks ago now, dishevelled and a real mess. She'd been savaged, we think, by local soy dogs, but she's doing well now, and she's making her way in the family. So there you go. Hi, Little Cat. She came to be an executive producer on today's program. Good morning to everybody who's joined us on the live chat. We've got some important things. She's not getting on well with the dog. We've got important matters to discuss today in relation to Thailand's next Prime Minister. We saw the ousting of Paetongtarn Shinawatra yesterday in a 6-3 vote by the Constitutional Court. I'll be going through some of the media that's been published today and then try and analyse what is going to happen next with some predictions about the next Thai Prime Minister. What are you going to do? Attack her? She's about 10 times your size. Oh, you're going to walk right in front of the camera now. Don't think it was a very good idea. I'm going to put you down on the ground. There you go. You can sort out your differences on the ground. Good morning to everybody. Damien, we've got Gail, we've got Scarface, Scott D. Scott D actually has got an interesting question which I'll address a little bit later about the comments section. But let's start with how the media was covering the issue yesterday. Not the local media. That's got a whole different flavour. Much noise between these two. So let's go to the BBC, and they say how a leaked phone call derailed the Thai PM's career and the Shinawatra dynasty. More to discuss about that later. Deutsche Welle in Germany, 3 different articles. The Thai Constitutional Court removes the Prime Minister from office, and the question, what next after PM Paetongtarn leaves office? And CNN World, their headline, Thailand's Prime Minister removed from office over leaked phone call scandal with Cambodian strongman. So I did go to like Fox News as well for their coverage, but they're still going through their atlas trying to find Thailand. Let's go on to some others. And Reuters say Thai Prime Minister removed by court, triggering power scramble. New York Times, Thai court ousts Prime Minister in major blow to Shinawatra family. And Al Jazeera, Thai court removes Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from office. So that's the way that some of the world's media was covering it, and obviously a big enough story for the major media outlets to cover it. And of course, a very big story here in Thailand. I should say at the outset that if you're not interested in politics today, we're talking about the election of the next Prime Minister in Thailand. Now, you're very welcome to hang around. The second half of the program is a bit looser. We'll take your questions, your comments. If you want to ask me whether we can drink the tap water in Thailand or how much does a pad Thai cost, I'm happy to address those in the second half of the program. But for this part of the program, we are going to be speaking solely about the election of a new Prime Minister. Now, very quickly overnight, the situation has evolved into 2 camps, and I'll get to those and the coverage about that in a moment. But to understand sort of where we are with selecting a new Prime Minister, we need to understand how the Prime Minister emerges. And before an election in Thailand, under the 2017 Constitution, every political party is required to come up with at least 1 and up to 3 prime ministerial nominees that they can put up. So in the case of Thai, they had Seta Thavisin, who was the first Prime Minister. There was Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who was the second Prime Minister. And they've also got another reserve, if you like, Chaikasem Nitsari. And so he would be put up by the Thai party so they can maintain their coalition and keep the wheels of government going under their stewardship and their coalition. So that the other parties, though, also got their nominees. One of them is Anatin Charvitakul, who's the leader of the Phumjai Thai party, and he looks like he's emerging as a strong second possibility. And we'll get to how all that comes together in a moment. An outside chance was the former Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, and it looks very unlikely. If he was going to be putting his hat in the ring, then we would have heard from him already, I think. He's already been elevated to a position on the Privy Council, which is the councillors that advise His Majesty the King. A very prestigious role for a Thai person. And I'm sure he's enjoying his retired life. Well, not quite retired, but serving for His Majesty the King. He was a strong royalist. Now, there's some other people sort of dangling in the background who are also leaders of their respective parties, but it's very unlikely that any of those would emerge. As far as the People's Party, they got the highest number of votes at the last election. They've basically been banned from running for the position of Prime Minister. Pita Limjaroenrat, who was the leader of the Move Forward Party as it was at the time, he's been banned, and they only put up one prime ministerial candidate, so they sort of shot themselves in the foot. I think I might have a bit of an allergy to that cat. We've got flashing lights. Okay, stuff happening. We had a really big storm come through here at about 4:30 this morning. Wow, thought the roof was going to be blown off, but it's still sticking on top of us at the moment. A lot of plants blown over, and I imagine once I go out up and down the street later, I'm going to see a few tiles blown off. But let's go to what happened yesterday and try and decode what's sort of happening. And I should say it's happening very, very fast. And I will get to all the comments soon, and welcome to all the people that have joined us on our live chat today. So we'll start with cowsodenglish.com, and they said in their headline, what to know after the top court in Thailand booted the Prime Minister. And in a 6-3 ruling, the Constitutional Court found that Paetongtarn's conduct during the June 15 call with the Cambodian Senate leader Hun Sen violated constitutional ethics. And further down there, during the call, Paetongtarn had referred to Hun Sen, an old friend of her father. We should say a friend of the family. Paetongtarn had known him for some 2 decades, so he was well known to her when she made the phone call. She referred to him as uncle and seemingly criticised a Thai army commander in charge of border forces, and those border forces were, of course, trying to react to the situation on the Thai-Cambodian border, situation that continues. The call was leaked online by Hun Sen, sparking outrage in Thailand as it did. Now, the Deputy Prime Minister, Phumtham Wechayachai, he is still the Deputy Prime Minister, the acting Prime Minister, and that situation remains today. And the Cabinet will stay on in a caretaker government until a new Prime Minister is elected. Parliament's required to select one from a pre-approved list of candidates submitted by each party before the last election, which I went through briefly just before. Now we go to Khaosod English, and this all happened very, very quickly. Paetongtarn Shinawatra, she sort of conceded defeat, if you like. She acknowledged the decision by the Constitutional Court. I thought she was very gracious in her comments. She took the blame on herself, but insisted that she was trying to do the right thing by the Thai people. We'll leave that as it is. But not soon after this happened, and we go to the Khaosod English Facebook page, Phumjai Thai Party leader Anaton Charnvirakul announced his bid for Prime Minister at a media conference yesterday. He also gained support from 10 Per Thai MPs. So it's basically a numbers game at this stage. You've got some, I think, 492 active MPs. 8 have sort of dropped away over the past couple of years. I think a few of them died. But yeah, we've got 492, so that's the numbers game. And he added to the People's Party don't have enough votes in Parliament, so they need some 20 or 30 more. And he says that they've come from the Per Thai Party ranks. Now, in Thailand, as I mentioned yesterday, it's not uncommon for MPs to shuffle from one party to another during their term in Parliament. They're called Cobras. So it happens. But those 10, which he claims per Thai MPs, have not been mentioned. Now, let's go on. The story gets more complicated as we go. And we know from this announcement that the House of Representatives website published the meeting notice for a special parliamentary session September 3 to 5. So the next Prime Minister in Thailand will be elected during that 3-day session, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. It may take several votes to find a new Prime Minister. But the first thing that will happen, I'm pretty sure, is that the Per Thai Party, as the coalition leader, they will be putting up their own nominee, who is Chaika Semnitsari, the 77-year-old, 70, is either 70 or 77. They'll be putting him up as their prime ministerial candidate. And if he can garner the votes, well, then he's the next Prime Minister. But if he doesn't, then that's when Anaton would put his hand up and a vote would be taken on his possibility of gaining the Prime Ministership. And from Nation Thailand, the Phumjai Thai Party announced it's agreed to a deal. Oh, this shouldn't have happened. Why is it flicking back to... there we are. Oh, stay there. Announced it agreed to a deal with the main opposition People's Party to form a government. The People's Party were the Move Forward Party, who got the highest number of votes at the last election. They're now sitting in opposition, but they maintain the highest number of MPs in the Parliament. Put them together with Anaton's Phumjai Thai Party, still don't quite have a majority, so where are those extra numbers going to come from? There we go. In a statement released last night, Phumjai Thai confirmed its executive committee and authorised party leader Anaton Charnvirakul to assemble a new coalition. Looks like it's a little bit dodgy, the link between my iPad and... oh, it's back again. Oh, it's going to be one of those shows. Yay! I haven't spilt anything on the computer or anything. But it noted that due to legal limitations, the party, this is the People's Party, cannot nominate one of its members for the prime ministerial position. As a result, Phumjai Thai has stepped in very graciously to fill the vacuum. So the People's Party would be able to be the leading member of this new government, but they would have Anaton Charnvirakul from another political party acting as their, well, I suppose you'd call him a proxy prime minister. And as a result, Phumjai Thai stepped in to fill the vacuum, accepting the People's Party's demands. Just because it's a bit dodgy, I won't continue with that, except to say that the People's Party also said there were two conditions. One, they wouldn't have any ministers in the government. And secondly, that if they're going to agree to the deal, then it would only be a temporary government and it would have to call an election within 4 months. So even if Anaton does become the Prime Minister, he would only be a Prime Minister for 4 months until the next election would be called. That's the condition that the People's Party would sign on to basically provide all their MP numbers. It might be just this part of this story from Bangkok Post. The next Prime Minister, expected to be chosen within a few days, needs the support of half the MPs in the House. That would be 247 out of the 492. And then it says Phumjai Thai's got 69 MPs. I think it's actually got 71. And the People's Party 143. That would be a total of 212. So they're still missing some 35 votes. And then we can see the actual numbers in the Parliament. The People's Party up the top there with the highest number of MP votes. We're looking at the middle column. And Per Thai, the next, then Phumjai Thai, United Thai Nation Democrat, Kla Tam Party, that is going to really be the decider in this particular election for a Prime Minister. My computer's going a bit crazy this morning. We will carry on. You may... Now the cat's playing with the cable for the light. So it's all fun and games here. I think I've frozen up and everything. All right, I'm just going to march on. The Kla Tam Party is well known in Thai politics because the leader of that is Tamanat Prompao, and you may just somehow in the back of your mind remember his name coming up in the past. He was actually held in a jail in Australia for 4 years on charges of heroin trafficking, which he's denied, and I should point that out. Yeah, his party numbers are probably the key to this, and they haven't thrown their hat in the ring and said they're going to go with this side or the other. I'm pretty sure they're going to be counting the numbers very carefully, because they have been really over the past 10 years, both in the last government and now the current government, there's sort of been the power brokers who have been able to make deals. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with their votes. So that's sort of the way it's shaping up. We've got these two camps. We've got the current government, the Per Thai Party, trying to basically maintain its current coalition with their prime ministerial candidate, Chai Kassim Nitsari. Bad decision. And then you've got the People's Party, used to be called the Move Forward Party, and the Pumjai Thai Party joining forces to have an alternative government. So one way or the other, it's going to be one of those. So it will all happen next week between Wednesday and Friday. And we're going to find out who is the next Prime Minister. If they haven't determined by next Friday, then the current acting Prime Minister and the caretaker cabinet will continue to do so. There would have to be another parliamentary session to go for another round of votes. But I've got a funny feeling they're probably going to determine this in the first round of votes. The coalition will probably get the first opportunity to put their candidate up and test his power in a parliamentary vote. All right, so I hope that was a little bit clear, and sorry about all the interruptions from the cat and stuff. So let's go to your comments, and we'll go to the comments about this particular issue first, and then we'll get to some of your other general comments second. Question, who sits on the Constitutional Court, asks Warren Williams. That's 5 PMs removed by this court since 2008. Too much power, Warren asks. So, okay, let's put it this way. There are plenty of different constitutions around the world that have unelected people nominated to their positions either by the head of state or by the parliaments and put into those positions. And it was pointed out to me yesterday when I said they were an unelected constitutional court, that Thailand's not the only place that has unelected people acting as these sort of circuit breakers when there are constitutional issues that need to be sorted out or voted on. So there are 9 people. I only counted 8 yesterday. I kept on counting because I knew there were 9 in my head, and yes, it was a 6-3 vote, so there were 9, but one of them must have been cropped out. So they've been nominated to those positions, and I think they are pretty much for life. And the current people on the Constitutional Court were put there by the government of Prayut Chan-o-cha. So yes, they probably lean a little towards the conservative side of politics. That's saying the very least. Yes, but 5 prime ministers have been removed by that court. So some people have even suggested that this isn't an army coup, it's a sort of a constitutional coup. And there are plenty of people in Thailand who are looking to make changes to the current constitution, part of which would limit the powers of the Constitutional Court. And another one of the conditions that the People's Party put in place, and they published this yesterday when discussing their possible deal with Phumjai Thai, putting Anaton Charnvirakul into a position of Prime Minister for 4 months, they said one of the deals would be, one of the conditions would be that they start the wheels in motion to draw up changes or amendments to the current constitution. Now, all this is going to put a lot of the conservative side of Thai politics in a bit of a flap. As soon as they mention Section 112, and that's relating to lèse majesté, insulting the monarchy, or alternatively suggesting changes to the Thai constitution, then there is a lot of hand-wringing going on, and a lot of people get very upset by that. Do they have too much power? Well, they have the power to remove the Thai Prime Minister, and the last 2 Prime Ministers have been removed for reasons of ethics, which is obviously relatively imponderable and up for a lot of interpretation. But they do retain that role, so it's no use people saying this was done unconstitutionally. It was done absolutely 100% under the Thai constitution. Okay, so let's see. Hello everyone from a hungover Non-Chai Si. Okay. Morning everyone. Morning. Hello from Robbie from Batty Bat Playlists. Hello from Robbie from Texas. Hello, Robbie from Texas. FJ, I imagine the military is not very supportive of Paetongtarn, so perhaps to avoid another coup, for now it's best she's removed. Well, she has been removed, so that's a bit of a moot point. Yeah, look, clearly one of the very important matters for the next government when they... Well, we do have a government. There's no use saying that we don't have a government. But when they sort of get this counting out of the way, they really do need to address the situation up on the Thai border. They need to address the needs of the people who have been displaced because of the conflict. They really need to get together with the Cambodian Prime Minister, have some meetings. There's a lot of repairs that need to be made there. So that's going to be very important. Remembering that one of the big drivers of the economy in Cambodia is tourism. And most of the tourists for Cambodia are Thai. So they're really having a problem with their economy. And there are probably tens of thousands of Cambodians who live close to Swanikap. It's my staff arriving for the day. Tens of thousands of people who trade every day, and they've come across the Thai border. Some of them live in Thailand, and they've been pushed back across the border, and you can't get across the Thai border at the moment, the land border. You can still fly to Cambodia, but the land borders are basically closed between Thailand and Cambodia. So a lot of problems there. Will she be removed also as cultural minister, asks Martin Geiger. Well, yes, she's basically been sacked from the government, sacked as Prime Minister and sacked in any other role she has in the Thai government. And whilst she was suspended from the role of Prime Minister, she was acting as the cultural minister, but she's been removed from that as well. So, oh my God, the area of culture in Thailand is all in suspense at the moment, waiting for a new minister. So there's no caretaker, cultural minister at the moment, although there would be an acting minister, and I'm sure they, whoever they are, will be working towards a better cultural future for Thailand during this time. Douglas R. Question, does the removed PM unable to run for office in the future? I don't know. Now, remembering she wasn't an MP, she was an outside nomination for the role of Prime Minister by the Thai party. The parties can bring in outside people who they think would be good for the role. So she was never an MP. I would say she's sort of been stained as far as the Thai people are concerned. I think it would be very difficult to see her getting the favour of the Thai people again. just because she's a Shinawatra does not give her just an automatic entry back into Thai politics. The Shinawatra family are very powerful though, and it looks like they're down at the moment, but they're not out. Even though after 3 prime ministers, all sharing the name Shinawatra, have all been ousted by constitutional courts and other courts in Thailand, they've still got Thaksin alive and well, and he'll be working the phones today trying to ensure that the coalition Thai party can remain as the leaders of the government. So a lot of horse trading, probably a lot of cheque writing going on as we speak. I would say, is she unable to run for office in the future? I don't think that's been brought down as a condition. So she could probably run in the future, but unless she runs as an MP and gets elected to the Parliament, I don't think the Thai people are going to give her a free pass. Morning from Harvey Bay in Queensland, another beautiful day in paradise, says Prospero. Yes, it's now very calm and lovely here at the moment with a light onshore breeze, but it was piping in about 4:30 this morning. The casuarina trees, sorry if I'm sort of veering off course a bit here at the moment, they've got these little, I suppose you call them like pine cones, but they're very small, but they're very spiky, and I could hear them hitting the roof. Thousands, like big hailstones, even though they're fairly light and soft. But when I walked out, the garden is covered with these spiky little pine cones. So I'm going to have to get the rake out a bit later. Good morning, Tim, says Rolando Joe Green. Good morning, Tim, all the way from Chaya sub-district of Suratani. Hope you're doing good. Love your program. Always like to say yesterday politics in Thailand is important for us who live here. Yes. Nong more so. Had some morning rain here in Non Chai. A lot of talk about the weather. Good morning to you. Michael Parker. Farewell the Shinawatra dynasty. A new election, please. Let the people decide, not political manipulation. Well, I didn't bother trying to predict the outcome of yesterday's Constitutional Court decision. Little cat's just going to sit up on the wall and meow for the whole program. Why did I even talk to her? So, but I did predict that there would be an election before the end of the year. And I still stand by that. And it looks like if this new, what would you call them? Well, it would be a newly elected parliamentary coalition. They would only have, if they are elected, 4 months to go. And even if the Thai party get back in, I think, get the votes with their prime ministerial candidate, sorry I'm getting all the words wrong at the moment, then I think they are so weakened that there'll be a lot of pressure for a new election. I think we'll have another election called before the end of the year. It would probably be sometime early in 2026. As far as the Shinawatra family is concerned, don't write them off. Even though Thaksin and Paetongtarn, they're not in Parliament, Thaksin still has a very busy phone book, and he's still a power broker and has a lot of friends in Parliament, a lot of enemies as well. He still wields a lot of emotional power within the parliamentary circles. So he'll be involved in the background in deciding how this new Prime Minister is going to be elected. As I said, he would want his Thai party, which is the new version of his party called Thai Rak Thai back in the early 2000s. And so he'll be wanting his Prime Ministerial candidate from Thai to get up in that first vote in Parliament. Good evening, everyone from Victoria in Canada. Brett Border. Hi, Brett. Brett back at home. He spent a few days here at Tai Muang Beach, and very nice to meet his family as well. So thanks for coming, Brett, and glad you're home. And thank you very much for the half watermelon, which we enjoyed last night for dinner. Daryl McGee, hi. Daryl, great to have you on the program. Throw in any questions if you'd like to ask, or indeed make some comments about who you think might be the next Prime Minister here in Thailand. Allergic to your new cat, says Larry the Fink. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have been sneezing quite a lot of late, but it is that time of the year when I sort of get the sneezes, so it's probably not the new cat. Jeff Witty Art says, similar to US politics. Well, not similar to US politics at all. I mean, very, very different from US politics. Thailand has a parliamentary system based on the Westminster system of government, with the two houses of parliament, a prime minister and a head of state. So it's not similar to US politics at all. And then back to somebody earlier was talking about the Constitutional Court having too much power. In Australia, for example, our head of state in Australia at the local level is called the Governor-General, and the Governor-General is nominated by a joint sitting of the two houses of parliament in Australia, usually a former civil servant or a former distinguished member of the military. And we've had some excellent Governors-General in Australia. Not so much back in 1975 when the Governor-General of the time, an unelected person, but nominated by the Parliament and signed off by the head of state in the UK, remembering that Australia's head of state is the monarch of the UK. In theory, well, not in theory, I mean, that's what it says, but the Governor-General acts on a day-to-day basis, filling in the roles of the head of state in Australia. And, an unelected person kicked out the elected government. Over the years, I haven't searched for it this morning, there would be plenty of cases, I'm sure, of unelected people who act as the head of state or in a judiciary role, kicking out various governments, elected governments over time. But just the one back in 1975 in Australia came to mind. So they have been nominated into that position, the 9 seats of the Constitutional Court. So they weren't acting unconstitutionally. Whether you want to argue if they've got too much power, well, that's a different argument. That's why the People's Party want to have this sort of constitutional gabfest and make changes so that they don't have as much power. The laid-back gardener, does it really matter who the average citizen, who the new PM will be? The military actually runs things, that's not true, and nothing of major consequence will be done without their approval. Well, that's not true either. The military have a role in Thailand, and sometimes they've intervened and they've taken over power. But on a day-to-day basis, they have no role at all, except to run the Army, the Air Force and the Navy. So the head of the armed forces in Thailand doesn't have a seat in the cabinet, doesn't meet with the Prime Minister, or they might have a monthly meeting or something, but there is no direct role with the military in the government. And the government draws up policy. You're suggesting perhaps they have to sort of get the army to check all the policy before it gets signed off. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in theory, and it doesn't happen in reality. If it did, we'd certainly know about it. The Prime Minister had a meeting with the head of the army today. That hasn't sort of been happening. So I think you're being a bit mischievous, the laid-back gardener, trying to suggest that. Yes, the army have intervened from time to time, but that's a separate situation from a functioning government and interfering in that government. The army have gained a lot of support over the last 3 months related to this border conflict with Cambodia. And as I suggested a bit mischievously myself yesterday, that if there was a poll putting all the parties up in a poll and then putting the Thai army as part of that poll, they'd probably win the poll. A lot of Thai flags being shown around, a lot of support for the Thai army at the moment, and they continue to do their best to try and keep peace on the Thai-Cambodian border at the moment. But they don't have any day-to-day role in the functions of government, either in theory or in practice. And I'm pretty confident in that answer. Rolando Shogren just hoped that they get to pick a new PM, so the country will run smoothly without any protests or conflict. I've seen a protest called for next Monday. These are people outside of Parliament, I suppose basically just the usual suspects, the stirrers, but in Thailand they're allowed to peacefully protest, and I'm pretty sure no matter who becomes the next Prime Minister, we'll see a few protests emerge. Nothing like those protests back in 2020, though, which were trying to bring down the Prime Ministership of Paetongtarn Shinawatra at the time. I mean, they were really big protests. So we've seen nothing like that since 2020, and I don't think any protests we see over the next couple of weeks will be of that size. But I'm pretty sure you're right that most Thai people will be happy just to get this over and done with. No great expectations from this tawdry lot, says Siadwell. Well, I mean, they are elected MPs. They've been elected by their constituents in various parts of the country. The Thai political process is fairly transparent. Yes, there have been various claims made at different times about money being paid to some voters to get their vote, but that situation is shared by different people at different times, and I think it sort of evens out and it doesn't really reflect in the final results. But like just about anywhere in the world, I mean particularly the United States, the more money you have will determine to a certain extent your ability to get elected. And that's not different here in Thailand, although nothing like the situation in the United States. Is the DTV still a thing? Is it successful? Asks DBO. Yes, the DTV, the Destination Thailand Visa, is a thing, and people still applying for it. You need to apply for it outside Thailand. You actually can't be in Thailand and, I'm going to use a VPN. It doesn't work like that. So you actually need to be outside of Thailand when you apply for it, and you need to wait until it is accepted and you get that stamp. So and then you can enter Thailand with the DTV, and you can go in and out for up to 5 years under that Destination Thailand visa. And I think, as we read last couple of weeks, there's been some 120,000 DTVs granted since it was introduced in July only last year. So it has been very successful indeed. Damien Jesser, Bob was great. I was talking about Bob Hawke. He was a Prime Minister in Australia. Do the Thai people have a movie about politics like Don's Party? That's an interesting question. Don's Party was a great movie. I can't remember the cast. I remember Graham Kennedy was in it, but I can't remember. It'd be Brian Brown, I'm sure, a few others that were in every Australian movie, but it was very funny. I don't know. I haven't seen any movies. Thais make a lot of movies, and they make very good movies. I haven't, nothing sort of jumped out at me that it's about. I mean, I think the Shinawatra story would be a good story somewhere down the track, but it's a little bit too soon at the moment. Thaksin is alive and well, and he's on the phone as we speak. I'll try and call him. Thaksin. 0 to. No, it's engaged. So yeah, he's on the phone. He's busy. Who sits? Okay, Warren Williams. Who sits on this court? He asks again. What are their political leanings? 5 PMs removed by this court since 2008. Warren, you're clearly very upset about this. Who sits on the court? They are nominated nominated judges, and they were put in place by Prayut Chan-o-cha. I've already explained that, and they are conservative in nature, and they were put there to try and make sure the conservative barrow keeps being pushed in Thailand. We're not trying to hide that. No one's trying to hide that. Everybody knows that. But the fact that they have removed 5 PMs since 2008, with an exclamation mark on your comment, is something that would be bothering a lot of people. And that's why the People's Party have called, amongst their other considerations, for changes to the Constitution to try and stop this from happening in future. Simon Brown says, a disaster for Thailand. Why is it a disaster, Simon? There are people out there, I'm sure, who think this is just an awful calamity. There are plenty of governments, constitutional, democratically elected governments, who change if they have a Prime Minister and a bicameral parliamentary system, who change Prime Ministers between elections. The UK, for example, they went through, 3 or 4 Prime Ministers during between elections. That's what happens in the bicameral parliamentary system. So there's no calamity. The government is still there. The public servants are going to wake up on Monday and they're going to be filling the potholes and emptying the rubbish and making sure your registration sticker is stamped for your car. And the wheels of Thai politics are continuing. There's no interruption. There is an acting Prime Minister. There is a caretaker cabinet. The Constitution in 2017 allows for all this. So the wheels of the Thai government continue, even though there is no current confirmed Prime Minister by the Thai Parliament. So Simon and Warren, you're definitely glass half empty people. But if you're walking around the streets of Thailand today as a tourist, you would have no idea that this is going on. The pad thai is still being cooked. The beer is still cold. The beaches are still there. You can still jump on an elephant and go for a ride in Chiang Mai if you want to. Nothing really has changed. There are skirmishes along the Thai-Cambodian border. And if you're a tourist, I wouldn't go sightseeing along the Thai-Cambodian border at the moment. But otherwise, Thailand is open. The wheels of government are continuing. And the sun did rise this morning. Can Paetongtarn be prosecuted for treason? Ryan the Scavenger, well, that would be a criminal court matter. It would have to go to a different court. The Constitutional Court can only judge things that are based on the Constitution. And it was ethics that she was charged with. She wasn't charged with treason. I think it would be a pretty long bow to be able to convict her of treason. A private telephone call. She said nothing treasonous. She wasn't trying to gain any favour. She wasn't trying to gain any monetary compensation. Her derogatory comments about the Thai army were not such that they were treasonous. So I think the answer is no, Ryan the Scavenger. Big joke be in power soon. Ha ha ha. Oh, Damien. Talking about Surachat Hakpan, who has now been dismissed from the police force. He's lost his pension. And I don't know what his role in Thai society is these days. He might come back someday. We used to read a lot about him, didn't we? But he's no longer part of the daily vibe. The Wu-Tang life. As a FHANG expat, why is Thai politics important to you? Are you asking me or are you asking people generally? Well, the Thai Parliament decide about how long people can stay here visa exempt. They decide what the laws are for foreigners behaving badly and how they'll be treated. They make all the decisions about visas, the new types of visas that are going to be offered to foreigners. They make decisions about the various embassies around the country. They make decisions about the flights that are allowed to fly into Thailand. At the end of the day, they run the country. They make all the tourist policies. They make decisions about whether they're going to be offering these free flights to foreigners coming to Thailand. At the end of the day, the Thai government are making all the decisions about things that happen in Thailand. On a day-to-day basis, it probably doesn't... You can come here for a holiday without having any idea who the Prime Minister of Thailand is and have a perfectly good time. For me, I employ Thai people, I pay Thai taxes, I don't have a Thai company, but I work for a Thai company. So I think they're, at the end of the day, I run businesses here in Thailand. So it's important to me. I would know a lot more about Thai politics now than I do about Australian politics. And apart from the current Prime Minister, I'm really struggling to name more than 5 people in the Australian Parliament at the moment. I really don't read much about it. So it's important to me. If it's not important to you, thank you very much. Hot. Thank you. That's why they put a handle on it, so that you can avoid the heat. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd expect the Conservative parties to agree on a PM nominee to avoid an election and risk losing seats to PP. PP could be PHANG, which is one of the Conservative parties, or it could be the People's Party. I think what you're saying, Key J. The problem is the Conservative forces in the Parliament. If we go back to the slide where I had the numbers, see if this is still working. Probably not working at them. There we are. Who have we got on the Conservative side? You've got United Thai Nation, maybe the Democrats, Kla Tam Party, Palang Pracharat. You've probably got less than 100 MPs. So with only 100 MPs out of 492 MP Parliament, you haven't got the numbers. So I can't see... okay, if the Conservative Party voted for whoever the Prime Minister is, just as a show of support for the strength of the Parliament, that would be a good thing. So, the Thai politically are sort of somewhere in the middle. They're a centrist type of government, and the Conservatives to the right, and then the People's Party perhaps a bit to the left. But... whether they agree or disagree, a PM is going to be elected. As I said, they only cobbled together some 100 votes out of 492, so the mathematics don't work for them in this case. The Wu-Tang Life, the Future Factory says, maybe because they can change things that affect us, talking about the Thai politicians, like visas, future taxes, restrictions on property and business, the infrastructure in your area. Yeah, I mean, this whole taxation business about bringing foreign monies into Thailand, that's legislation waiting to basically reverse the decision that was made a couple of years ago to tax incoming monies, that they're wanting to reverse that. But there's been bigger fish to fry in the last couple of months. But future taxes, restrictions on property and business. So thank you very much, Future Factory, adding a few more to the list. Demon Mark, do you remember John Kerr's speech? John Kerr was the Governor General that ousted the elected government. At the Melbourne Cup presentation, when he was 3 sheets to the wind, he was pissed. He was very, very drunk. He dismissed the government, yet he was there at the Melbourne Cup, which is a big horse race in Australia. Been to it many times. And he was very clearly drunk, and that lives on YouTube and will be there forever. He's long gone, but he'll never be forgotten. Eurovision Chris, I feel like as a foreign tourist expat, politics in the country you're in is something you should definitely be aware of, at the very least to understand the situation for your visit or living. If you're living here, you need to have a working knowledge of the laws of the land and how those laws are made and how they could affect you. Because once you're living in Thailand, you're living under Thai law. And I've seen foreigners from time to time say, oh, it's my right to do this or that. When you're in Thailand, you've got to follow Thai rules. And if they pull you up and they fine you for not wearing a helmet, you can jump around and point to the police. I wouldn't be pointing to the police, pointing at the police. I mean, you can yell and scream as much as you like and it's not going to change the fact. So you may disagree with Thai laws, you may disagree with the way they're administered, but it's up to you to making sure, if you live here, to have a working knowledge of how that side of life works. If you want to buy a car, you're going to have to go and get it registered. You're going to have to renew your visa. You're going to have to get 90-day reports. All these things are laws, they're rules that you need to follow. Hopefully, peace in Thailand forever, says Danny Coe. Hello from Vancouver, says Fun Size. Okay. All right, just going back here. The laid-back gardener, Natapong, the People's Party leader, has some much-needed business experience that could greatly benefit national economic development. What are the odds of him becoming PM? He's not allowed to run as PM. So yes, then, yeah, he can't. That's why the People's Party are going to be using Anitin Charnvirakul from Phumjai Thai as a proxy, and they've also said they won't be able to have any ministers in the new government. So what they want is a new election so that they can be put into or given a mandate to run the next government. They need to win 50% of the vote plus one to be able to just install the next Prime Minister without having to go to any votes in Parliament and nominate their own cabinet. Having a mandate would change everything for the People's Party. As it was, the Move Forward Party at the last election just didn't have. It had 38% of the primary vote, but it wasn't able to pull together a coalition. And in a bicameral parliamentary system, you have to have a coalition with enough votes to be able to get the confidence of the Parliament. That usually means getting a majority of the votes. So 50% of the votes plus one to get anything passed. So he can't become the Prime Minister at the moment because his name wasn't put forward before the last election. But he is the leader of the People's Party at the moment, and after the next election, if his name is put forward, I'm sure it would be, as a Prime Ministerial nominee, he could become the next Prime Minister, but not under the current circumstances. Steve P, thanks for your in-depth insights into Thai politics and the parties, and I apologise again for those people that are just not interested in politics. I don't blame you. I think if you are just here to have a good time, or you're retired and you just don't have an interest in politics generally, then this is probably as boring as batshit. But we need to cover it because it's the main story, it's the big talking point, and it is something that I've got a certain amount of knowledge, so I'm happy to share it. I've been reporting Thai politics for about 14 years. William Betchell, is there a movement to eliminate the Constitutional Court as a reform move of the Constitution? Part of the constitutional changes that will be put up if the People's Party and the Phumjai Thai Party form this alliance with Anitin as the sort of caretaker Prime Minister until the next election is called, if they start the constitutional amendments, I'm very sure that they want to amend the powers of the Constitutional Court. I don't think they want to eliminate it because all parliamentary systems need a fuse. They need somebody to defuse constitutional problems. I mean, if you have an elected president, for example, and that president goes haywire and starts acting like an autocrat, then that system is obviously under a lot of stress. It's all right having a dictatorship as long as the dictator's a nice person. So you need that defusing role. You need some sort of nominated defuser in a parliamentary system. Now, in the UK, you've got, basically the head of state, currently King Charles III. He is that diffuser. The role of the monarch in the UK, they've used their powers very, very lightly. They've probably made phone calls or had some sort of vague influence, but they've never directly stepped in, as far as I can remember, in sort of my living years and changed a decision of Parliament. But they do, at the end of the day, have the right to dissolve the Parliament, for example. Is there a movement unelected like the Governor-General? Yes, the Governor-General in Australia, and I think in Canada as well, is unelected. They are nominated and voted on by the Parliament. and they're usually, as I mentioned, sort of a career politician, a retired, a distinguished military person, or a public servant who's distinguished themselves over the years with a long career. And yeah, 99% of Australia's Governor-Generals have been great people. I've met 3 of them over the years, and they've all been very interesting, very nice people. And yeah, I think they've done their role very well. Basically, planting trees and opening kindergartens. But yeah, they've done their role very well. Gary Cashel. Hi, Tim. Albo will be looking for a job soon. Talking about Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia. Well, he'd have to go to an election and he'd have to be voted out. He had a historic win last year, leaving the Conservative, they're called Liberals in Australia, as a sort of a small rump in the corner of the parliamentary chambers. So whether he can score another win, that would be record-making, but it looks like Gary is not a fan. Could you tell me what brand your shirt is? I can't make out your name at all. This is from Lazada. I can't remember the brand. If you are getting shirts, if you want to order shirts online, I get mine from Lazada and Temu. You need to do one order of just any shirt and to just check your sizing. Because, I'd usually take a medium or a large if I was in Australia. But here, I'm either an XL or an XXL. So you need to check your sizings, just do a test run, and then you can order them. They cost about between 180 and 220 baht. They're not expensive, and there's just like hundreds of them that you can scroll through and find out what you like, but just be careful with the sizing. I'd expect the Conservative parties, okay, we're sort of going through that. What has been lacking in Thailand is leadership. The Thai response to this mess on the Cambodian border has been so weak. Hopefully the new PM will stand up to Hun Sen. Yeah, look, I think the fact that we've had an acting Prime Minister, he has been limited in his response by the powers of an acting Prime Minister. They can't do everything a Prime Minister can. But I think it would be interesting to see what the next Prime Minister will do, what sort of lead they will take. They would need to do it in concert with the Thai Army, and the Thai Army are the ones protecting the border. So I think it would need to be done in concert with them. But yeah, I think it would look good for the leader of the Thai Army, the Thai Armed Forces, to be walking along the border. Obviously, check the land first. With the next Prime Minister and show strength and show unity. And I think they need to sit down with the leaders in Cambodia, and nothing is going to be sorted out until that happens. I mean, they can keep throwing stones and insults at each other for as long as they like, but it's not going to solve the situation. And the countries, as neighbours, are important to each other. Thailand is more important to Cambodia than the other way, but at the end of the day, it's important for Thailand to secure its future, to make sure it's got good, cordial relations with its neighbouring countries. Queensland Tiger says, rainy and overcast in Isan, Don's Party by David Williamson, also the department about the police. Thailand needs to play about the big boys in brown too, but it would be censored. Maybe, maybe not. There's plenty of Thai police I've seen in Thai movies, and they're usually treated in a sort of a humorous way. Most of the Thai police would have a good laugh about that too. Will any of this political circus affect my incoming trip in October, asks Fun-Sized Media. At the moment, no. And nothing that's going on at the border at the moment, nothing that's happening in the political sphere at the moment would affect your decision to come to Thailand. If anything does happen, certainly I'd I'd be, sorry, just reading comments on the side there. I'd be the first to tell you. Tim 4PM says, Fun Size Media, I'm not able to run as a Prime Minister in Thailand. The only country I could run as Prime Minister would be in Australia, and I have zero interest in serving my country in that capacity. I'd be very happy to serve my country in any other useful capacity, but at the end of the day, no one's asked me. Here in Thailand, of course, I can't, but I basically support equality, equity here in Thailand, stability, number one, for the politics for my Thai friends. I mean, I live here. If it's a stable, progressive country, then it's obviously a lot easier to live here than if it was more autocratic or less organised. Okay. Sorry, Tim, I was chatting with somebody else, says Warren Williams. Sorry, Warren, if I interrupted your conversation. But yes, there are sort of internal conversations in the comments section. We all know who is really in charge, says Fun-Sized Media. And you've put an image there that I won't really mention. Look, I have to say that that person who you're referring to hasn't, unlike his father, has not really put his hand up or shown much daily interest in the political situation. His father did intervene a couple of times over his long career doing his job. A different person, and I really can't go any further on that one. Married to Thai national, so politics are relevant, says Prachanbury Bound. John D, to Sweaty Cup from Melbourne. Is Abbasit still an MP? No, he's retired now. He's left politics. He was the Democrat leader who was a former Prime Minister in Thailand. He's no longer an MP in the Thai Parliament. Well regarded generally. He's sort of sitting in the middle of politics, and his counsel would be sought in any decisions by the Democrat Party as a whole. Democrats have 25 MPs still in Parliament. They're nothing like they used to be. Used to be Per Thai and the Democrats in days past, but that situation has changed a lot. I'm super late to the show, says PG Santa. Nice to have you along anyway. Did Tim say who he thinks is going to be the new PM? I'm not really going to make a prediction on that, but it looks like it's going to be Chaika Semnitsari, representing the Per Thai Party, or Anaton Charvidakun, surprise, surprise, and his Pumjai Thai Party, who'd be joining forces with the People's Party, but they still need a few more votes, about 35 to be clear. And all that horse trading will be going on between now and next Wednesday. Between next Wednesday and next Friday, Parliament will be sitting to elect a new Prime Minister. I don't really want to try and predict who is going to win that. There's just too many things that are completely, would be like selecting a name out of a hat. I really have no idea. Is there no time limit for the caretaker cabinet to remain in power if no PM is elected, asks Key J. I'm trying to understand the People's Party gambit of going with Anaton as a proxy PM. They're only doing that so that they can get some control of what's happening in the Parliament and push these changes to the Constitution through and then forcing a new election. Only by having a new election would they be able to then form a full and fully mandated government. The caretaker situation could go on. I don't think there's any limit in the Constitution, but they could go on ad infinitum as far as I know. I don't think anybody else has suggested otherwise. I think caretaker government in Thailand can remain so, but I think there is quite a lot of pressure to put a new Prime Minister in place because there are key things that need to be sorted out. The border situation between Thailand and Cambodia, the number one, and a elected Prime Minister by the Parliament would obviously have much more both emotional and theoretical and parliamentary sort of heft behind them to be able to go and sort that situation out. Does the Thai Prime Minister have powers like the American President? Very, 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 very different. The Thai Prime Minister can only act on behalf of the Parliament. The American President's situation is sort of quite unique. They are a political animal, and they have a certain list of powers. Some of those are being tested at the moment. But no, the Prime Minister in a parliamentary system has a lot less power than the elected American President, because they have to basically follow the decisions made by their cabinet and by their MPs in the Parliament. So they can't just arbitrarily decide that they want to change this or that. They can put ideas to their cabinet and they can be discussed by their MPs and discussed and debated in Parliament, but they can't just unilaterally just sign things and tick things off. No, very, very different. Now, a little bit earlier, and thanks very much. I've got so many damn comments today. Scott D, right at the start of the show. I'm not sure if you're still with us, Scott. You're probably bored sideways waiting for me to get to your question. By you having to read through your channel's comments, it takes considerable time. What would happen if you disabled the comments? I can disable comments on a individual video or across the channel. I believe, from all the investigation that I've done, that it increases engagement if I leave the comments on. Now, there are some bad comments made by people. When I say bad, they could be defamatory. They could be inciting riot. They could be extremely rude towards one of my commenters or me. And in those cases, I'm very quick to remove those comments because it does nothing to the integrity of the channel just to allow people just to say anything they want. Now, if people want to disagree with me or disagree with other commenters, that's fine. But when people start insulting me or other commenters, then I draw the line at that, because that's not debate, that's not commentary, that's not helping the discussion. So that's my rules on my channel, but I do go through every single comment that's made on the channel. And I do have to remove some. Look, I might remove maybe 6 or 7 in a week, and every week I would get 3,000-4,000 comments, sometimes more. So it takes a lot more. It takes about 2 or 3 hours a day, I suppose, to go through all the comments. I respond from time to time. Sometimes I can't help myself, but usually if people ask a question, a visa question or something, I'm happy to answer it. And if people say something that is factually wrong, I'll say, well, look, I understand that this is the actual facts that I understand them. So, yeah, that's the way that I see the comments. I see them as an important part of the channel. By turning the comments off, I'd get a lot of hours back in my day, but I think my channel would be the lesser for it. And I think some people like throwing in a bit of a bomb and seeing what my reaction is. So that hopefully answers that. And we sort of get to the final comments. With great competition from Vietnam, India, Indonesia, Philippines for business and tourism, Thailand's best days are behind it, in my humble opinion, says Aussie Rules. There's no doubt that Thailand now has a lot more, just locally, Southeast Asian competition, and a lot of these countries are working the tourism side of their business much harder than they used to in the past. Vietnam is a bit of the flavour of the month at the moment. But just recalling, despite all these problems with Thailand at the moment and perceived political instability, the tourism numbers are down for the first 7 months of this year, 7%, which is, not the end of the world. Of course, a lot of people would prefer it to be 7% up. But if you also recall that at the moment, the number of Chinese tourists for the first 7 months of this year, and they were by far the biggest rump of international tourists coming to Thailand, they're down 42% year on year compared to last year. So if you take the Chinese out of the situation, the tourists from other countries, the numbers are actually going up at the moment. I pointed this out, I've done the maths many times. But overall, the numbers are 7% down. And I'm sure there's a lot of work being done at the moment to try and reverse that. One suggestion was to give away 200,000 free domestic tickets. We haven't heard that at the moment. And as I say, the Parliament at the moment and the Cabinet have had other matters to discuss. But I'm sure the TAT will be pushing that to the front of the list pretty quickly. Hate to tell you this, but the Governor-General of Australia is selected by the PM, not Parliament, says the Future Factory. As far as I know, it's a joint sitting of Parliament. Is this going to work? I'd look pretty foolish if I got that wrong, wouldn't I? How is the... I could ask Siri, couldn't I? I'll keep going. How is the Governor-General, just twiddle your thumbs, elected in Australia? The Governor-General is not elected. They are appointed by the King of Australia on the advice of the Australian Prime Minister. The appointment is made under the authority of the Australian Constitution and as a formality. That's interesting. I always thought it was the names would be put to the joint sitting of Parliament and a vote is taken. But there you go, appointed by the Prime Minister selects the candidate and the King, that's the UK King, then makes the formal appointment. So there you go. I defer to your better knowledge on the matter. So does the Prime Minister consult the Parliament? I don't know, I'm trying to find a way out of that. But thank you very much for the correction there. Well, before the 80s, Thailand has never had a true democracy in a Western sense. Well before 80s, Thailand has never had a true democracy. Thailand's democracy is just different. I call it democracy Thai style. And I mean, try anywhere in the world to point to a perfect democracy. Democracy by its very nature is sort of lumpy. It's difficult, sometimes inconvenient. There's always a lot of compromises that need to be made. So, I mean, what is the perfect system of government? It doesn't exist, but I think we should, as the people, the custodians of this planet at the moment, we should keep working towards trying to find better ways of electing democratic governments and running our civil societies. As far as I know, democracy is the best way to do it. I haven't seen anything better so far. So I don't know. That's a very big discussion, probably bigger than we've got time for today. But yeah, name a well-functioning democracy anywhere in the world. They're all difficult. With great... Hey, Tim. Hate to tell you this. I've done that one. Thank you very much, Future Factory. I defer to your greater knowledge. Did Tim say who he thinks is going to become the next Prime Minister? No, I didn't, and I won't. Hi, Tim. Is there no time limit on the... I think I've done that as well. I hate to say, but a lot of Chinese and Indian tourists are a big turn-off about some places in Thailand, says Damien Jesser. Well, I mean, the places in Thailand, like Phuket, Pattaya, Bangkok, they're not allowing tourists in of just the tourists that you like. Anybody is welcome under the visa system. People are given the opportunity, visa exempt or a visa on arrival or pre-applying for a visa. And if they fulfill the qualifications, then they're allowed to come. Now, if you're saying you don't like Indian tourists or Chinese tourists, that's your own problem. But there's no reason why people from any part of the world aren't able to come to Thailand lawfully if they qualify for the visas that are offered to those countries. And if you're offended by those people, then that's a problem that you're going to have to look at for yourself. Crazy Bart doesn't help. Evil twin, what is the crazy baht? Every time people say that, I rush onto xe.com and I look at the baht against all the different currencies, and there really is very little change over the years. I don't know why you call it the crazy baht. Are you saying it's overvalued? Well, then you might be able to argue that, but calling it the crazy baht I don't think is very helpful or accurate. What's the voting age in Thailand? I think it's 18. Hey Siri, what's the voting age in Thailand? Maybe it's 20 or something. Yes. We're going to get an answer for you very quickly. Thank you very much to ChatGPT. In Thailand, the legal voting age is 18. Eligible voters must be Thai citizens, at least 18 years old on January the 1st of the election year, and have resided in their constituency for at least 90 days prior to the election. So in other words, overseas voting may not be possible for Thai people. Anyway, there you go. That's according to ChatGPT. 100% Tim, but look at how some action talk louder than words. Damien, the middle classes of places like India and China are growing faster than any other countries in the world. And I sort of give their behaviour a bit of a pass mark. Maybe I'm being far too gracious. But they're sort of new to this situation of world travel. And perhaps they bring some of their customs into another country and those customs are not suitable. I mean, a lot of comments sort of 15 years ago when the Chinese used to start coming to Thailand in numbers and they're sort of washing their feet in sinks and all sorts of strange things. And yeah, people just sort of like to sort of point and say they do things differently. And I get it. But look, I mean, if you find loud people annoying, then I think there's other nationalities that are much more of a problem in regards to talking loud. If you don't like some of their behaviours, just avoid them. Just go somewhere else. I mean, I'm delighted when any tourists want to come to Thailand. I'm delighted when any nationality wants to come and stay at my beach houses. And as far as Chinese and Indian people, I haven't had any problems beyond any other country. So I think we need to be just a little bit tolerant. If we are visitors in this country, we need to acknowledge that visitors from other countries are allowed here as well. And if the Thais have problems with them, then that's up for the Thai people to discuss. But I mean, I'm not having a go at you, Damien. But everybody's got their preferences. But I really think we need to be a little bit tolerant about other visitors coming to Thailand. It's Thailand, not our country. And we'll finish with this one just because I love the other name. Dildo Baggins. Approximately 15,000 branded and independent hotel rooms set to enter the Bangkok market in the coming years. They're betting on people visiting the kingdom for some time to come. Yeah, and Suvarnabhumi, they're doubling their passenger capacity in the next couple of years. They're building new terminals at the Phuket International Airport. They're making the Don Muang Airport double the size as far as the terminals are concerned. The what's that one? Utapao out near Pattaya, serving Chonburi and Ranong. They're doubling the capacity of that. So some people that have got a lot more money than you or I have done their sums, and I think Thailand has a good future in tourism. And as far as other countries around, like Malaysia and Vietnam and even Cambodia, Laos, not Myanmar, but I think it's great. Indonesia, let's bring people into Southeast Asia because it's good for all the Southeast Asian countries. They might fly into Bangkok and have a week in Bangkok and a few days up in Chiang Mai, then they'll fly over to Cambodia and maybe spend a few weeks in Bali before they go home. I don't know. I think people coming into Southeast Asia is good for Southeast Asia, good for the ASEAN countries, and at the end of the day, good for Thailand. Maybe Thailand sort of led the way for increased tourism and maybe mass tourism in Southeast Asia, but bring it on. Competition's good. Thank you very much for dropping in today. Hopefully we've covered a million topics as we usually do. Thank you very much to the cat for all the interruptions at the start of the program. So we've got next week between Wednesday and Friday, September the 3rd to the 5th, they're going to be voting on a new Prime Minister. It looks like the two names that are at the top of the list at the moment would be Thai's Chaikasem Nitsari, and then representing the other side of politics, another group trying to sort of form a coalition, if that vote isn't successful, would be the People's Party, who are currently in opposition, forming a sort of coalition, but only a 4-month coalition before there's an insistence to dissolve the Parliament in that arrangement, and that would be led by the Prime Minister, Anitin Shah He has not hidden his ambitions to become the Thai Prime Minister over the years, and he would be enjoying the role, and it might give him a bit of a kick on to be a future Prime Minister, maybe even mandated in the future, although I can't see Thai ever getting as many votes in the short term as, for example, the People's Party. But this could be a harbinger of a new landscape for Thai politics. The conservative Thai joining forces with the People's Party. Let's see what happens. Thanks for dropping in, everybody. Thank you for all the things. Even people that disagree with me, that's fine too. We'll be back tomorrow with Grumpy Old Men, Steve and I. I think we might be trying a new cafe, or maybe they're not open in time. But we'll sort it out one way or the other. I'm going to go and survey the storm damage out the front of the house. Have a great Saturday. We really appreciate you dropping in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.